Hey guys, Dr. Michael Tang here, physiotherapist. In today's video, we're going to be going over the TheraCane. Backstory on this thing, it was given to me by a friend a couple years ago, and I have been fiddling around with it on and off, so I figure I'd make a review on it. Disclaimer, all the comments that I make on this product are my own honest opinions on it. And also, nothing I say in here should be considered a medical advice. If you're dealing with some medical problems, please get it checked out by a medical professional. Okay, now that we're all done with that, let's get on to the review. So according to the website, the TheraCane is a therapeutic massager with 7 strategically placed balls for ergonomic use. In other words, this thing is a type of massage tool that's specifically made to be easy to use. For the most part, people use this thing to address their muscle aches, or they'll use it to do some trigger point therapy. The TheraCane's made of a pretty hard plastic that's relatively smooth, so you really don't have to worry about it splintering your hands when you're using it. It's also pretty light, which makes it easy to use with either one hand or two, and on top of that you can kind of maneuver it back and forth. One of the things that I did notice was that since it's made of such a hard material, sometimes I would get a bruise from using it, and in general, I would say that I'm not somebody who gets bruises that easy. But I also probably don't need to be pressing that hard, to be honest. But if you're the type of person who bruises, keep an eye on it. Something you could do is probably put a thicker layer of like maybe a towel or maybe wear a sweater. It should be said though that you probably don't have to use it that hard, and you can use it through a shirt or any other material. Otherwise, I think everybody can use it, whether you're young, old, girl, tall, short, injured, uninjured, doesn't matter. Everybody is okay to use this thing. Durability wise, this plastic feels pretty sturdy. It really doesn't feel like it's going to break under normal use or anything like that. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not really sure what you could call normal use. For me, I use it maybe every other day at like 2 minutes at a time, but I will say I use it pretty aggressively. And with that amount of use, I really felt like it was pretty solid. It didn't feel like it was going to break or anything like that. The only maintenance thing that I kind of did was just wipe it clean from all the dirt or whatever that built up on it. In general, you can use this thing by finding a spot that bothers you and pressing hard on it. Or you can rub the spot with one of these ergonomically placed balls. But anyways, enough talking about this thing. Let's go ahead and actually use it. So most of the time, I'm going to be using this thing on my upper trap. Normally, my neck will be sore from time to time when I'm like using the computer too much, or I'm looking at my phone all day, or even sometimes I'm just waking up a little bit off. I'll use it with a combination of both holding it in place, the trigger point therapy, or I'll be rubbing it over the muscle. And I'll just go ahead and have one hand over the top here, and I'll use the other hand to kind of guide it just like I have it here. You can also use this thing on your upper neck or the back of your neck, and I'm talking about this particular area here, and same thing, hold it with pressure or rub on it. Personally, I don't use it this way because I like to use my hands better, but occasionally I'll bust this thing out just because it's convenient. And you would just be kind of using it in this particular fashion here. Another spot where this thing is nice to use is on my upper back. I'll use this thing on my upper back and place it over, like maybe over on the supraspinatus here, or I'll have it on the ribs here, or even a little bit lower here. The little handle, the cane looking thing, makes it pretty easy to just go ahead and push different areas and apply force and guide it just like I was talking about before. I would say this is probably its best use just because you really can just move it around, and it's very specific with the ergonomic balls here. Another weird spot is to use this on like your forearm here. Personally, I don't use it here, but you would use it the same way, just either sustain pressure or rub it. Personally, I like to use my hands more, or I'll use something else instead, maybe a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball. I let my friend use this thing, and he likes it a lot in that spot, but for me, it's kind of, it's whatever. So when I use this thing, I pretty much just use it for my upper body, but technically you can use it for your lower body, whether it be your quads or your calves. I don't like it because it's kind of awkward to do, but if you are going to do it, you can sit with it, and that way you can actually reach your legs. Another way is you can sit on it for your hamstrings on the ergonomic balls. I don't like it. I'd rather use a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball. My personal preference, but you do you can try it out. Maybe it's helpful for you. I would say for the normal person, this thing is pretty handy. It makes it so that you can kind of work on yourself without anybody's help, and you can get those hard to reach areas, especially the upper body stuff, by yourself. Lower body, like I said, I don't really like using, but technically you can do it by yourself too. And for those of you who actually care, there's also a novelty factor to this thing. Some people haven't seen it, and so it's an interesting conversation. Ooh, what's that green cane over there? Oh, you mean this? I just kind of use this thing to deal with my muscle pains and aches. But, you know, it's pretty good in getting some hard to reach areas, if you know what I'm saying. From a PT perspective, I would say this thing is pretty much a fancy version of a cane with, like, some balls on it. Personally, I would just use a cane or a lacrosse ball to do what I need to do. You just kind of have to know what you're doing, which I just use my juicy PT knowledge that I got over the years to get it done. All in all, I think this Thera Cane is pretty well designed to do what it needs to do, which in this case we call it trigger point therapy. That's what they call it in the PT and massage world. I will say though, personally, as a PT, I think $30 for a brand new Thera Cane is a bit too pricey. But also remember, as a physiotherapist, I would consider myself to be pretty creative in doing what I need to do without needing a fancy tool like this to get it done. I understand that most people might not have the knowledge, or they do have the knowledge, but they want an easy, no-think way to help themselves, and really there's like a very little chance that you would hurt yourself using this. So if money ain't no thing for you, then go for it. But for everyone else, I would try to get this thing on sale. Anyways, that's my review on the Thera Cane. If you got some questions, please leave in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as fast as I can. And for those of you who thought this review was helpful, and you need a Thera Cane right now, this very moment, then I left the Amazon link in the description box. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.